Goldthwaite, San Saba, not really stretching all the way down I-35, but right in that area, going to continue to be moving to the south as we go through the day. And it'll be a slow mover, may even stall out as it nears Waco, Temple, Killeen. So there's going to be a big spread in temperatures. Here we are at 10 o'clock. You notice the temperatures in the 50s to the north. Watch what happens once we get to around lunchtime, or at least in the afternoon. You're talking upper 70s near 80 down towards Bryan College Station, upper 60s behind it, even lower 60s towards Meridian and Hillsborough. So wherever that front is where that boundary is going to be, and that's going to mean a big difference in your temperatures. Now, once we get through the overnight hours, this front is going to get a secondary push of cooler air behind it. That'll shove it to the south, and tomorrow we should wake up in the 50s with the potential for a few showers out there. Going through the day, we'll up that rain chance with the potential for some passing showers and thunderstorms, some of which may have some brief heavy rainfall. I don't think it'll be a complete washout, but a lot of the day will be spent with those showers around. So you want the jacket, you'll want the umbrella, and maybe a coat, because you are going to have north winds as well, making it feel even cooler. Now going into Thursday, we'll see drier air come in, and that should help bring an end by the time we get into the afternoon. So 10-day forecast looks like this. Again, 70 degrees today, but if you're watching to the north, you're going to be cooler as we go through the day. Temperatures in the upper 60s. To the south, though, closer to 80 degrees. So a big difference coming up depending on where that front is. 59 Wednesday, 55 Thursday. Saturday looks nice if you're heading to College Station for the big football game, Auburn and Texas A&M. Temperatures will be in the 60s and light winds. That is good news. Next week, though, we're talking upper 70s going through the rest of the week, with temperatures climbing back above normal. So cool, wet weather lovers, you're going to love Wednesday and Thursday.
All right, looking forward to it.
Sounds good.
Still ahead this morning, the president wants to spend a fortune on tackling climate change.
But he's facing a roadblock in securing funding. We'll explain when Good Morning Texas returns. Opening statements are set to start today in the murder trial for Kyle Rittenhouse. A jury of 20 people was selected on Monday. This includes 12 jurors and 8 alternates. Rittenhouse is charged with shooting 3 people at a police brutality protest in Wisconsin last year. 2 of those people died. His attorneys argue their client was acting in self-defense. Also happening today, Minnesota voters will determine what the Minneapolis Police Department will look like moving forward. A ballot measure asks whether the city should replace the police department with the Department of Public Safety. Supporters say change is necessary following the murder of Texas native George Floyd last year, but opponents claim the measure is vague and doesn't have enough community input. If approved, the change would take effect in 30 days.
COVID vaccines for kids from the ages of 5 to 11 could get the final green light from the CDC today. A CDC advisory panel will consider the FDA's recommendation for allowing that age group to receive the Pfizer vaccine. The agency made the recommendation last week. If approved, shots would start being administered as early as tomorrow, and the approval would make 28 million kids eligible for the Pfizer vaccine. Private companies with more than 100 workers could soon start requiring employees to get their COVID vaccinations. The Office of Management and Budget completed its review of the rule that was designed by the Labor Department. When it goes into effect, companies that do not follow the rule face fines of up to $14,000 per occurrence. But last month, Governor Greg Abbott issued an executive order saying no entity in Texas can require vaccine mandates. New announcements are coming now from the high-stakes global summit on climate change in Scotland.
President Biden facing a new setback when it comes to the $550 billion he wants to spend to tackle the climate crisis. Rena Roy has the latest.
Day 3's agenda is about hitting the ground running, negotiators putting their heads together as they try to agree on how to best limit global warming. With the world heating up more in the last 29 years than in the previous 110 years.
My administration is working overtime to show that our climate commitment is action, not words.
President Biden saying the climate crisis is an all-hands-on-deck effort, and the U.S. will aim to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050.
There's an incredible opportunity, not just for the United States, but for all of us. We have the ability to invest in ourselves and build an equitable, clean energy future.
He's also vowing to support developing countries that say they're already facing the harsh realities of a changing planet.
As we sit comfortably here in this conference center in Glasgow, Over 2 million of my fellow Kenyans are facing climate-related starvation.
The U.S. is calling on private companies to step up and do their part. Amazon founder and billionaire Jeff Bezos meeting with leaders Monday and speaking with ABC about his $10 billion investment pledge to the planet.
It will take trillions of dollars to make a dent in climate change, and it's going to take nation states, it's going to take companies. What philanthropic dollars can do is to move very quickly.
Queen Elizabeth via video said the time for words is over.
I, for one, hope that this conference will be one of those rare occasions where everyone will have the chance to rise above the politics of the moment and achieve true statesmanship.
Rena Roy, ABC News, Glasgow, Scotland.
And at the summit, President Biden also made an apology to fellow world leaders for former President Donald Trump's decision to pull out of the Paris Climate Accord.
Up next from us, Tiger King is making a comeback, but there's already more drama.
What Joe Exotic's arch enemy Carole Baskin is claiming that could spell trouble for the show. It's 6:17. We'll be right back.
American Airlines canceling more flights Monday. It comes after a weekend of cancellations for the Fort Worth-based airline. Julie Salomon with our Tampa Bay sister station has more.
Passengers at Tampa International Airport are trying to get back home. Eliza Smith lives in Portland. Her flight leaving Tampa is delayed.
I was supposed to leave at 5:30 going to Charlotte. I had a 50-minute layover to Portland, and I got delayed 2 hours. So now I would rather get stuck here than Charlotte.
American Airlines canceling hundreds of flights system-wide on Friday and into the weekend. On Monday, 424 flights were canceled. The day prior, more than 1,000 cancellations. American Airlines expected 3 cancellations Monday at Tampa International, but passengers are seeing delays.
I also have a cousin that's here in Tampa trying to get back to Rochester. He was supposed to leave this morning at 5:50 in the morning, and his flight got delayed till 7:39 tomorrow. So I'm trying to get that flight too now.
American blaming high winds Thursday at their largest hub, Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, writing in a memo to employees, quote, "We could only use 2 of the runways instead of the usual 5. The other problem, a lack of staff post-pandemic. Airlines must rehire and retrain thousands of employees. That memo also stating American is ramping up hiring and reservations, so more team members will be in place for the holiday season.
Is that the airline is squeezing the schedule when they are planning it because of the lack of staffing, so they need to get more and more out of the existing staff, right? So pretty much this will end up having less slack in the schedule.
Now the Halloween's over. Target's already getting ready for Christmas. The retailer started its Black Friday sales on Monday. Every week, it'll be offering holiday best deals, which are the best prices for the whole season. You'll find deals on electronics, toys, kitchen appliances, apparel, and beauty. And new deals are released each Sunday, but not all the deals will last for the whole week.
And for Tiger King viewers, there's been another twist. Carole Baskin and her husband are now suing Netflix over their inclusion in the upcoming docuseries Tiger King 2. Baskin's lawsuit claims that neither she nor her husband authorized previously shot video of them to be used in the upcoming docuseries. The suit says the couple only signed releases for the first documentary, and they're asking the court to step in by November 16th. The series is set to be released on Netflix the next day.
We already know that everyone's going to watch that because once we saw that first even episode, that's it. We're all hooked.
I know. There was no going back.
It's
15
like
minutes.
Yeah. Train wreck on fire. You just can't look away.
For better or worse.
Oh my gosh.
It was so dumb, though. So dumb.
I can't think of 2020 without Tiger King. But in other news, it is time, folks, for our mug giveaway.
Here we go. Today's winner is Michele Carnell. Congrats, Michele. We'll let you know how to get your mug today. And folks, if you want one too, just head to our website, kxxv.com/contest. Click the mug, enter your email address, and we give them away every morning. And you just got to watch to find out if you are our next winner. If you're hoping for some rain, we're winning this week.
Yeah, it is time. What's it looking like, Josh?
Yeah, not today. I don't think we see rain today. If you live in our far, far northern fringes over towards Meridian, Hillsborough, back over towards Gulfway, maybe a stray shower. But all of us should see rain coming up for tomorrow. There's the view right now, Extraco Eagle Eye and Killeen, not showing you rain at this time. Neither is radar. Radar is quiet at this time, but there is a little cold front right there. We're going to keep that right over there towards parts of Hillsborough, Meridian, and Hamilton this morning. That is going to continue to try to drift through the south here as we go through the first part of the day, and then it'll likely park as we get into the middle of the day. That means if you live north of Waco, Temple, Killeen, you're likely going to be dealing with temperatures in the low to mid 60s. South of Waco, Temple, Killeen, you're dealing with temperatures closer to 80, and then Waco, Temple, Killeen likely going to be in the battleground between those two air masses. So there could be a big switch in temperatures in your individual location. Now, as we continue through the rest of the evening, that front will continue to sit right there, but then as we get into the morning, we're going to see a secondary push of colder air push that to the south. We'll fall into the 50s by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. And then look what happens during the day. Likely going to see showers and thunderstorms break out. We'll call it off and on showers and thunderstorms. I don't think it rains hard all day, but you may have a steady light rain with bursts of moderate to heavy rain building in at times as we go through the rest of the day on your Wednesday. And also those temperatures likely by the afternoon fall into the upper 40s and lower 50s. So this is going to be a chilly rain that's in place for all of central Texas tomorrow. Getting into Thursday, we'll still have the potential for a few showers in the morning, but then look at the drier air come in during the later part of the day. That's likely going to bring a little bit of sunshine on the way. So let's get to that 10-day forecast for you real quick. Tuesday showing you 70 degrees for today, but again, if you live in our northern counties, you're going to see those afternoon temperatures in the low to mid 60s. South of Waco, Temple, Killeen, closer to 80, so a big spread in temperatures today. Wednesday looks cold and wet, a 70% chance of rain, and 59 is where we're going to start during the day on Wednesday. 55 coming up for Thursday. That's an afternoon high. And then look at the rest of that 10-day forecast. Low 60s Friday, upper 60s Saturday. Beautiful weather this weekend. Next week, we start to bring back the warm and the muggy with temperatures getting back to the upper 70s for another front by Thursday.
I don't want to think about muggy. I just want to focus on this nice stuff
The
we're getting
nice
this week.
weather,
Yeah.
exactly.
Stick around, a lot more to come this morning.
We'll be right back. Now at 6:30, as voters head to the polls, the stakes are high for some local school districts. We'll look at the bonds voters will be deciding on.
And the latest on the appeal of Rodney Reed, what a judge is now saying about his conviction.
Plus, why supply chain woes continue in Central Texas and how it could cause a holiday headache. Good Morning Texas continues right now.
It's Election Day. Polls open in 30 minutes. Good morning. I'm Joey Horta.
And I'm Brianna Malloy. 25 News reporter Bane Froney is live from a McLennan County polling location with a closer look at what voters can expect when they head out to vote this morning. Bane?
Joey, Brianna, good morning. That's right. Now, this election statewide includes 8 constitutional amendments. Now, a little bit closer to home at our local elections, voters will see propositions of school bonds on the ballot. Central Texans will be heading to the polls on Tuesday.
I think we're actually going to see a fairly significant turnout, which is great to see that we live in a community where people vote.
Along with some constitutional amendments, school bonds will be on the ballot. Voters will either be approving or denying Waco ISD Proposition A, a $335 million bond, which will go towards improving, constructing, and acquiring school buildings for the district.
One of the big things that would happen is you would see greater equity across the district's middle school facilities. All of our high schools, all of our middle schools would have a new modern building if voters approve issuing these bonds to fund the projects that were recommended by the Community Advisory Committee.
One of these improvements would include the renovation of Carver Middle School, which suffered fire damage this past summer.
Other change that fire sparked was that it moved up the timeline for rebuilding GW Carver Middle School with that new larger campus a bit.
Bell County residents will also be voting on 2 propositions for the Temple Independent School District. Proposition A would give $178.3 million to be used for safety and security measures at Temple Middle Schools, renovations for fine arts and sports programs, and adding a new elementary school.
We have not added a school to Temple ISD since 1998. We are growing now. very excited, and we need another elementary campus to have a place for our new families.
Proposition B will issue $6.6 million towards improving and renovating the Wildcat Stadium. And while early voter turnout has been above average over in Bell County, Temple ISD hopes to see more families at the polls.
The demographic that typically is the smallest at the polls are parents.
And no matter what voters decide, school districts hope that the community comes out to have their voices be heard.
It's a great opportunity for families to participate in a different way in their child's education. And whether you vote for or against, your voice is important.
Now, polls will be opening in just less than a half hour at 7 a.m. All you need to bring is a valid ID. For more information about polling locations in your county, you can always head to your county's website. In Waco, Bain Froney, 25 News.
Thank you, Bain. And the 8 statewide constitutional amendments that you heard Bain mention there include allowing some rodeo associations to conduct raffles at events, allowing counties to develop infrastructure in underdeveloped areas, prohibiting governments from limiting religious services, and changing eligibility requirements for the state Supreme Court justices, appeals court, and district judges. Other measures would provide additional powers to the State Commission on Judicial Conduct, creating the right of in-person visitation for residents of nursing homes and assisted living facilities, allowing the surviving spouse of a disabled person to receive a limitation on school district taxes, and allowing the legislature to provide an exemption tax for the surviving spouse of a service member killed in the line of duty.
If you're not sure where to vote, there are several options. If you live in McLennan County, here's where you can go vote: the Belmead Civic Center, the China Spring ISD Administration Building, Lacey Lakeview Civic Center, Robinson Community Center, and the Waco Convention Center. In Bell County, you can cast a ballot at Belton Nazarene Church, Harker Heights Parks and Rec Center, Killeen Community Center, Temple College Pavilion, and the Troy Community Center. For a full list of locations in both Bell and McLennan counties, just head to your county website this morning. And before you step out the door to go wait in that line, because there's always a line outside, right, when you go vote?
Yep.
Do you need a jacket?
You get there early enough.
Yeah. Do you need a jacket?
Well, it depends on where you live highly because of where this cold front's going to be, but I think overall we'll see temperatures kind of behaving themselves today. Upper 60s, pretty close to Waco, Temple, Killeen, and maybe close to 70. If you live south of Waco, Temple, Killeen, you're going to be dealing with upper 70s. North, there is a cold front, so you're going to be dealing with lower 60s in place. Here's the good news, though. It looks like the rain will stay away today, which is always good news when it comes to Election Day. So get out and vote. Remember, it's your civic duty. Extra Co Eagle Eye and Killeen showing you things are quiet right now as you look at Bell County. I-14 rolling smoothly at this time, 57 degrees. Feels like 57 with winds on the calm side. But we are watching a little bit of fog develop. Mejia's got a visibility of 4 miles, but Cameron down to half-mile visibility currently. It's going to be in those low-lying areas and especially down into the Brazos Valley where we do see the fog today. Give yourself a little bit of extra time in case you encounter it going through the day. Radar is quiet at this time. There's a cold front that's actually draped over our northern counties, and that is going to try to inch to the south here during the first part of the day before it slams on the brakes later on this afternoon. Now, depending on where you are in relation to that front, will have a big factor on what your temperatures end up being later on this afternoon. North of that front, closer to low to mid 60s. Along the front, fairly close to 70 degrees, and then south of the front, you're talking about temperatures getting close to 80. So a wide variation in temperatures today across central Texas and into the Brazos Valley. Now heading into tonight, that front will still be stuck, but then get a second wave of colder air pushing it to the south as we go through the day on Wednesday, and that'll allow showers and thunderstorms to break out, along with our temperatures falling into the low 50s and upper 40s. So we're talking about a chilly rain in place as we go into your Wednesday, and then by Thursday, we're going to see drier air come in for the second part of the day, and that will allow our temperatures to climb into the mid to upper 50s by the time we get into the afternoon on Thursday. Let's head over to your 10-day forecast, show you what's going on. Today, a high of 70 for your Tuesday, but again, northern counties, you'll be closer to the mid-60s. 65, Meridian, Hamilton, down into the lower 80s towards Bryan and College Station. Wednesday is interesting. It's going to be cold. It's going to be wet. We'll start at 59, but as you'll be able to see in our afternoon, we'll see those Wednesday temperatures hanging around in the low 50s, so it will be kind of chilly as we go through the rest of your Wednesday, and kind of chilly for the first part of the day on Thursday. By Thursday afternoon, we're breaking into the mid-50s, and then look at the rest of that 10-day forecast. Going to be pretty close to the upper 70s by the time we head into next week.
Big drop there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Man, looking good. Thanks, Josh. Still ahead this morning, a death row inmate and his fight for a new trial.
What a judge is now recommending in the Rodney Reed case and what his attorney says they'll do next. It is 6:36. We'll be right back. A judge has recommended that Rodney Reed's conviction in the murder of Stacey Stites should stand. That's according to Reed's attorney. Reed was granted an evidentiary hearing back in July. During that time, his defense had argued for a new trial, saying no reasonable jury could convict Reed based on new evidence from witnesses. But state attorneys argued those witnesses came forward more than 20 years later and were not credible. Reed's legal team says they plan to appeal.
You know, a lot of memories of learning ball and learning teaching methods and, you know, what to do and what not to do. And so it's a sad day. I think as a coach, you don't ever want to see it.
The connection between Baylor's Dave Aranda and longtime TCU head coach Gary Patterson goes back for years. Aranda told a story about tracking down coaching videos of Patterson using his Hotmail account and asking his mom for money to go to a coaching clinic featuring Patterson. Sadly, we won't get to see the two square off again on Saturday after Patterson was fired by the Horned Frogs over the weekend after a loss to Kansas State. TCU has struggled all season, limping to a 3-5 record after losing each of their last 3 games. But Aranda has seen firsthand the kind of bump a team can get after firing their head coach. At LSU, Aranda coached when Les Miles was fired. The Tigers were 2-2 at the time, but won 6 of their last 8 games to finish the year.
Anytime there is that change, you want to leave open the ability to adjust, and so to give yourself a way out or a curveball or a changeup to kind of what their main stuff is.
If the Bears want to take down TCU this weekend, they'll need another solid performance from their secondary. Yes, Baylor gave up a bomb to Xavier Worthy in the first quarter of their game against Texas, but after that, they tightened up, breaking up 7 passes and intercepting another. Aranda saying those athletic plays were key to their success.
You know, there is a knack for playing the ball here at Baylor, and so we're fortunate. I'm fortunate to be a part of it.
The Bears will hit the road for that matchup with TCU this Saturday. It's their first road game since a tough trip to Oklahoma State a month ago. Kickoff in Fort Worth is set for 2:30. Let's take a look at the Big 12 standings coming into the weekend. The Bears sitting comfortably in 3rd place, but with a clear path forward to the Big 12 championship game. It's pretty simple. Win out, and you're at least in the championship game. And if Oklahoma can beat Oklahoma State, well, we'll have to wait and see how things play out. There is no doubt that UMHB will win its conference championship this season, but the Crew did face a slight bump in the road this week. Quarterback Kyle King missed the game with Belhaven with a turf toe injury. Coach Fredenberg said there's still no real timeline for his return, meaning backup Ryan Redding is the starter for the immediate future. Here's what Coach Fred had to say about his performance Saturday.
I think he did okay. I think he's going to be a lot better. He's going to learn from that game and obviously playing with more confidence and doing the things necessary to move the football team. But I was proud of the job that he did.
The Crew will take on Howard Payne at Crusader Stadium this weekend. Kickoff was originally set for 1 p.m. but got moved up to noon. Finally, the high school football season comes to an end this week for several Central Texas programs as the regular season draws to a close. And while most playoff spots are already locked up, there are a couple still up for grabs. One of them in District 13 3A Division II, where Buffalo and Riesel will square off in pretty much a winner-takes-all game for the final spot in the playoffs.